Next. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, next. No. Mm.
You have questions for me? Not for me.
I do. But we don't have to follow them.
Okay.
Dear Marina. Marina,
Marina.
do you want to give a short introduction about yourself?
No? I don't know if there is something I have to say.
No. You also don't have to introduce yourself.
I would rather not today.
Then maybe I can try.
Yeah, please. That's fine.
So, I know Marina because we study at the same school, which is the School for New Dance Development. And she is in the next year, the year up mine, upper year? Say that.
Higher?
Higher. She's higher. And probably we bonded a bit just by liking each other, I guess. Maybe liking each other's humor or energy. But also because we are both supposed to be fucked up or diagnosed crazy or disordered, which I highly doubt. But still.
You doubt what?
I don't think I consider myself ill. But I am, though.
Yeah.
Socially. I just consider more that I was made ill. But apparently this is a whole characteristic of bipolar people or said bipolar people. Do you consider yourself bipolar?
Yes.
Also when you're alone in your room or mostly with people?
I want to say that I think I have the thing that what people decided to call bipolar.
Oh yeah, then me too.
But whether it is a disorder or not.
Exactly, that's the question.
That depends how you look at it, because for me there are two fundamental parts of this to this question. One is, of course, in a better world, the conditions should be such that we don't have to divide people into those who are having orders and those who are having disorders. That's yeah, and of course the disorders are constructed by the society and by its construct. But in the reality, in the conditions that we are in now, in the capitalism, in the fucked up history, in the politics, the world expects certain functionality from us. And people who are not able to perform that functionality, they are considered disordered, having a disorder. And my point is that in this world that is demanding to you, to requesting you to be functional, highly functional, by by saying that I have a disorder, I'm claiming that I have a bit less privilege of being able to comply with the demands of being functional. And I would love to be able to disobey the whole system, but I can. It's not possible unless I go live in the woods all alone. But it's just not possible for me.
Do you think you would be fine then?
In the woods all alone, definitely. Definitely not. Nothing that's that contains all alone will be good for me. Never.
So in your case, it's not only a social dysfunction; it's also a personal.
No, it's a way of talking about it. I would say. I want to believe in, and I do believe in the concept of neurodiversity, and that we're just different, and nothing is better or worse. But the neurodiversity, as I know it, states that we have to create conditions so that everybody would feel to the best of how they can feel, like the well-being.
Mm-hmm.
But because in this world that is real, the conditions are not possible, or not happening. Let's say maybe in 100 years, maybe in 20 years, we don't know. Well, let's hope. I'm pessimistic, but maybe somebody would believe that for me.
Not me.
Anyway, the conditions change, and then I will not be disordered. Then I'll just have different brain, a bit different from average. But what is average? And what is, yeah, I don't know. From in this one parameter also, it's a particular parameter, not one. It's a bouquet of parameters, but.
What is the main difference you think between your brain and the quote-unquote average brain? Would you call it a typical brain versus atypical brain? What do you think is the difference?
That my brain has patterns in it that I have no power over. So, like, I don't know, I'm bad with neurophysiology, but I'm imagining like the paths that always go that way, and whether a typical person can redirect. I'm always like, this is a highway for me. And that's always, this thought is always taken there. On a certain speed, on a certain distance, on a certain.
It's funny because for me that's the case for everyone. It's just the path is different. I don't think we are less able to reprogram ourselves than more typical brains. I'm not very happy with typical anyway, but
I know.
I just think it's different paths. I think different inputs make the neurotransmitters go a different way, but I don't think it's less influenceable.
I'm not saying that it's totally uninfluenceable, but I think it's harder, and I think it's also because this is the thing. What is also different. I have moments of being delusional.
Mm-hmm.
When I cannot, I lose contact with reality.
Mm-hmm.
And the typical brain also does it. But then typical brain can choose also even to consume something to lose. I'm starving for contact with reality because more than half of my life I was detached from it. I was either down or up, but mainly down. But I literally believe in something that is not true. But for me, it's 100% true. Mm-hmm. And this is what I mean, I guess, by a highway. That's for somebody who would just say, oh, I'm thinking this thought, it's wrong, I have to think a new thought. And for me, it would be like, wait. What? Like, I have to go other layers, through those layers, in order just to come to the same procedure. But there again, there is of course a complication because we have a saying, trouble never comes alone. So it's again a bouquet. It's a combination. It's a mixture of things. It's not I'm just bipolar and this is it and it goes by the book. There is no book. I guess there are very few people who are only bipolar. And as I was thinking that I was hoping that I was only that. It turned out
Same.
that it's not. And that a few months ago I was diagnosed with this personality disorder, two subcategories, and it crushed me very much. But the intention of the people who were doing it was good because they were claiming basically, hey, it's better because then it means that you have less of a bipolar. It's still there, but less than but you also have this thing. But then bipolar is untreatable.
Yeah, exactly. It gives more access to getting better.
Yeah,
if
because
there are different diagnoses. Yeah.
also bipolar is you have medication, but it's untreatable with therapy. It's for life. But then for the other thing, it's untreatable by medication, but you have therapy for
Yeah.
that. So
I
there
was
is
told the
hope.
same.
Maybe that's how they're selling it. I don't know.
No, I think I believe in that a bit.
It's logical. Sounds logical, yeah. But also, I don't know how to untangle. Also, which is which.
Yeah, I don't think it even matters.
Yeah, I mean, many things made sense to me. Of course, we could read ourselves into anything, but what I learned about myself was mostly like, yeah, that's why. When I had the same with bipolar first diagnosis, I was like, what? Okay, that's why I did that crazy shit. Or that's why I dropped out of 3 schools, or like, I didn't. What's the question again?
I lost it. But it's okay. It answers it anyway. For me, it's more a matter of functioning or not.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
more a matter, but also a difference with you is that I almost function without medication if I'm on my own, which is new, never happened before. But in this quarantine, I realized I was fine as long as I was not seeing people, because I don't trigger myself. It's people who trigger me.
Really?
More, yeah. As soon as I feel I think there is a competition between my triggers, between judgment, being talked down to, neglected, abuse of power, and also the feeling of making me feel like a freak.
That someone makes you feel like a freak, like you're a freak.
Like, oh, that's kind of stuff. And without medication, there is no filter. There is nothing that keeps me from getting all this in the face, in the brain, and just making my whole body react. Medication is just that in between. It's like an extra layer in my skin.
That's interesting also, because for me, for instance, when I'm depressed, I'm much more sensitive to it. But when I'm not, I would just like, first of all, I don't care what this person thinks. Second of all, which is even more important, they don't care about me. So where I read neglect, there was no neglect at all. There was just like literally not.
Yeah, but neglect, I mean more close people now. I don't meet strangers, like, of course. Neglect from strangers, perfect. No, I mean more neglect from closer people.
But this is also very interesting because for me, I cannot stay alone. For me, people is the way out. People are my coping mechanism. No, really. Like just being with people in the room or doing things with people.
For me too, because I get distracted, but then I realize, no, I don't want to depend on that. I want to not have to distract myself socially. It's okay, it's okay. We can edit.
Not to distract yourself socially. I understand. Well, I was trying to fight it at some point, but then I realized, like, this is it. Why again? What's being kinder to yourself? This is it. This is my part of my personality. I need people. I'm a people person, or however you call it. That's fine. That's just part of me. Why should I go against the grain all the time?
That's how I do. I'm not sure it's good,
But what's
I
the reason?
constantly go against.
But what's the reason? What's the end goal?
I want to live instead of coping.
Do you think anyone is living instead of coping?
I don't know, but I want to try. I don't care about the others. I want to see if I can do it. But of course, it's weird. I mean, it's.
I think I know who I am.
Then why don't you want to introduce yourself? Then who are you, Miss Marina? I wanna know, I wanna know, I wanna know.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I had to perform.
It's a performance. Please perform. So tell me who you are.
But
Performing.
exactly, that's the problem. I know it from the inside. It doesn't have to be named.
I also understand that.
I don't like to. I had to write this biography for an application a few days ago.
Annoying, huh?
Very. And I have to. I read them every time anew, like start anew, and it's some sort of initiation procedure in a way. But also, I know what it has to be there. I cannot write just as I want, actually. And then I write very dry and.
Oh yeah, me too. Super dry.
But I'm a very dry person.
Do you want to edit this? I can cut it.
No, in some ways. I learned only here in the Netherlands. I think it was. Don't remember when it was. January, maybe even. That I'm lacking a layer of skin. Did I tell you this?
No.
So there is my skin is always dry, and then I'm lacking the last layer of skin that is actually letting water not or moist not go out.
How did you know that?
The dermatologist told me. It was like, by the way, that's why. Why nobody ever told me that? I would like start putting oil on me since I was 3 and not since I was 30.
But you wouldn't have grown the extra skin.
No, it's just the structure of my skin is a bit different. So
Porous.
it's sort of porous, yeah. They don't contain water; it just dries out. So I have to put more and more.
So what do? You moisturize a lot?
Yeah. After that.
It really sounds like a brain and the necessity for medication because of an extra layer of protection that is not there. Or that's exactly how I feel.
Once again.
It really makes me feel like the brain and the extra protection that it doesn't have and that is needed by medication.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I was telling you before and how I feel. I just feel I don't have this layer of skin that is a sort of a filter between the external and the internal.
This is one thing, but also if we continue as a metaphor, which is also not a metaphor, there is like all the autoimmune stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm crazy allergic to everything. I'm allergic to water. I'm allergic, and this is crazy.
Allergic to water?
Water. Yeah.
What?
I get red spots when I shower, when I go to the natural, to the lake. I'm allergic to my own sweat. This is like how fucked up, like how
Especially for a dancer.
irrational it should be that you are allergic to the product of your own body, and not someone else's sweat. That I would understand, but your own.
What is the what happened?
Huh?
What is
the
happening?
expression of it,
Yeah.
then the manifestation. Yeah, it's also like red. I get really red everywhere when I'm sweating.
But is it?
No, it's not a problem.
It just goes away, huh?
Yeah, at some point it goes away. It's not a problem. No, I have other stuff that's more like itchy or stuff. But then it is. It's just the fact that it's being there and it's reacting to itself. The organism is reacting to itself. But the same is happening in my brain.
Mm-hmm. What meds are you on?
Your names? It's antidepressant. One antidepressant, one normal mood stabilizer, and one antipsychotic.
Do you think they help? What? I mean, I think they help, but because I know that they help. But do you think they are a good combination for you?
I've been on medication, different ones, since 5 years ago.
Only 5?
Yeah.
You didn't have medication before?
I was only diagnosed with bipolar 5 years ago.
Oh.
But I was hospitalized immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's late.
Okay. Yeah. And so it had to get really, really severe, so that otherwise, before that, I was just like, okay, I live a miserable life, but nobody has to know. Also, there is such a taboo in my family on they still don't let me even mention.
In most families.
Yeah, but there was someone killed himself while being in the ward.
Ward?
In the psychiatric facility. Because he was kind of pressured into it. So he died because of being in an institution. Anyway, so for 5 years I'm taking them, and of course I've never been as depressed as I was that spring and summer. By the coincidence, it was exactly after this whole, not after, it was happening during the depression. I went to do intensive course in SNDO, and I met SNDO.
I would like to know if you have an idea of the reasons of your mental struggle and discomfort.
By disorders, you mean? Yeah. It's partly inherited. I mean, I know that it's not fully proven yet, but the big chances are. Both of the things, actually.
I mean, inherited. It's not because it's not DNA that it's not inherited.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be chemical or biological. It's like also environmental, of course.
Yeah.
The transmission.
Yeah. No, but I think it was a question of both, because my father has a bit of a slight bipolar, and he has definitely the obsessive compulsive personality disorder, for sure. I think my mother has the borderline or something like that. Combined. And then, living with an alcoholic, you already fucked up immediately as a child. Aggression and some violence and stuff. I don't think there was any chance for me to not get fucked up. Actually. And then also that it was not I had no idea that it is not normal.
No idea of what is not normal?
That how we lived was not normal. This kind of stuff, and because I was always told like this is how everybody lives. This is fine.
Oh, what's this living about?
Parents constantly shouting at each other. You always get shouted at, and the father drinking like endlessly, and constant shame for that. And anyway, so I started therapy on and off since I was 18. And then also I had to hide it for until now, actually.
To your parents?
I'm still hiding that I'm in therapy. Can you imagine? Why? I mean, my father doesn't care, and I don't talk to him much, really. But my mother, she won't get hurt. And furious. Yeah, I tried. Yeah. It just takes less energy not to speak about, not to mention. But then also like all the generational traumas also, like from my grandpa, their parents, and they of course were fucked up also, and then that stuff, and high pressure from school and university, and then somehow it was always also make and do and be better.
What are your biggest triggers?
Triggers for
any mental freak out?
Rejection. Condescending. That's when I get angry. Rejection, I also get sad. Being left alone, or feeling of left alone. And,
it's a bit rejection, no?
Yeah, it's more like nobody wants me. Yeah, it's everybody rejected me. Yeah, basically. Men.
Men are one of your biggest triggers into mental struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That's a big information. It's quite important. And I have the feeling that it should determine actions. Yeah. Man. Wow. That makes life difficult. What are your coping strategies?
People, alcohol, TV, therapy. Okay. Over.
I knew it would be short.
Overbooking myself. Can you say that? Like.
Oh yeah, I have the same. Hey Capricorn. Pathetic. I consider myself pathetic. But at the same time, at least it's not so destructive.